Okay, so if you read the blog post on espressochronicles.com, you know that I've temporarily relocated to New York, and bringing my wonderful Betzera machine with me was not an option. So we settled on this. This is the ROK Espresso machine. It's completely hand-powered. There's no electricity at all. It's missing a lot of things like thermal stability and all the other good things you need, but this is what we had to deal with. So we landed on this for the machine. We landed on the Compresso Infinity grinder for our grinder. And how are we going to make a decent espresso with this? One of the first things they say is you use water just off the boil. So this is where I landed for my boiling water. It's the cheapest kettle I could actually find from Bed Bath & Beyond. But it's a whistling kettle, and it has a nice little benefit that I've realized, which is that when you take the boil and get it going, you can take your portafilter, put it on top of that whistling spout, right there like that, and the portafilter warms up while the water's boiling. So the 10-minute, in fact it's going right now, that 10-minute warm-up of the Betzera is basically a 2.5, 3-minute boil warm-up here for that, and you just let the thing warm up while you're doing the rest of your prep. So on the Compresso, what I've ended up with for my grind, you see that black dot right there? It's right in between fine and extra fine. I actually went to the complete extra fine side of things, and I was actually choking the machine off. So this thing grinds fine enough. Consistency is not the best, but again, cost was an issue here. So this is what we can do on the cheap. So I'm going to set this down over here. So the grind, actually, as you can see, there's the dial right there. So what I do is I turn it up to about 2.5 and then let it run. It turns out that the portafilter actually fits very nicely in this spot right here. So you can take this out and get the portafilter, and it actually fits right in there. So you can just kind of leave it there, or I just tend to hold it and tap it a little bit so that it works. But portafilter fits quite nicely in there, and the spout, if you can see right there, is actually dead center, which makes life quite easy because the grounds go straight into it, which is very nice. So warmed up from that little trick on the kettle there, and we're going to go fill this up. 2.5. Tap a couple times. Now this thing leaves a good couple of grams in there, so from here, if you give it a couple of taps and then tap that off, you'll end up with a nice good mound in there like that. Now what I've found is that, actually probably need a little bit more than that, shorted it a bit, there we go. So this is the tamper they give you. And again, cheapskate, because I need to save money here. What I found is that actually, if you just scoop all this stuff into the middle here, and rock climbing helps, I guess, on this, got a decent grip, but put it in the middle, compress it like this with your hand, you can get a really good firm tamp on this thing. Just press real hard, and it will give you a nice, I mean, the polish isn't going to be like what a real tamper would be, but you can get a nice tamped bit right there. It works quite well. And now the shot. So I'm going to crank the water back up here a little bit boiling. So one problem with this, thermal stability, obviously I mentioned, there's the bottom right there. It's actually silicone. The whole thing kind of goes right in. So you want your portafilter filled pretty much to the top is what I found. Lock the thing in here. You can hear the kettle whistling back there. Now what I found interesting is that if I take it just off there, it's boiling, it's too hot. This is a little Le Creuset ceramic espresso mug, also from Bed Bath & Beyond. So what I do is I pour the water into here. You can see it's kind of got actually the light's bouncing, but there's a little kind of curve right there. If you fill it right up to there, it's exactly the right amount, and it cools it just right. Also, I've got this little I Love NY shot glass here so we can see the shot. So let's see what we can do here. I'm going to actually warm them both up. So what I do, take the water, pour it right into here to keep it nice and warm. I'm going to warm that up a little bit too there. Immediately pour the water in the top here, and it gets it right about where you want it. Then pull this up as fast as I can. Now we're going to put that right there, and now I just apply gentle pressure going down. And I keep squeezing until I see a couple of drops come out. It's kind of doing a pre-infusion, sort of. But just keep pressing lightly. You can see some drops right there. And once you see that, pull up and then down for the complete shot. And you can see we're actually getting crema out of that. Not bad at all. And then it slows down a little bit, so pull up and down again. And you have a drinkable shot with a crema on top that's not too horrible. You know, it's not my Betzera, but there we go. There's a drinkable shot with the ROK Espresso machine. Now, one thing some of the videos online will mention, and I'll do this here too, since I poured out a single, there's actually some water left in here and the puck is still rather soupy, so you can just use this and get the rest out, and you'll see sputtering when it happens. So this is all the part, there you go right there. So now it's all that foamy junk coming off. That's not real crema, that's just junk coming through. But you can see it's actually just kind of, well, actually you can't really, it's foam in there. But one nice thing is that the puck comes out completely dry. I mean, it's not a soupy puck. It's not like the DeLonghi machine where everything's really wet. I mean, this is a solid, nice puck here. So, you know, for what it is, and for a temporary housing location, and for needing to be very cost conscious, it works.